What's up, you guys? It is Ali of Where's Ali, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have y'all here. Today I am giving you 12, I don't know which way is right way, 12 more things that may surprise you as a Western traveler, you guys. All right, so you guys know that as Western travelers, we come from a place where things are almost sitting at our fingertips. They're sitting in the palms of our hands. And sometimes we travel that way. We travel with that mentality and that mindset. Well, I'm here. I'm here, y'all. Who am I? I am the eccentric nomad, and I am here to help take away some of the stress and discomfort and fear once you get into long traveling, once you get past the honeymoon stage of traveling. But this video is for any type of travel. So I'm gonna tell you one of the first things that may completely surprise you, especially if you come from, one of the major hubs in the United States with major airlines and things like that, or maybe you come from a small place and you are simply just trying to travel from, let's say, Dallas, Texas to Oklahoma, and round trip tickets are $300. Well, number one, traveling and transportation around the world, interstate or intercountry or even across country borders, may surprise you in the price tag bucket. You can be in Europe, you can be in Latin America, even Africa at times, and find that the prices are less than $100, less than 50 bucks, sometimes just $30, $35 to do one-way tickets from one city to another city. It's something that I experienced both in Europe. When I was in Europe, I flew from Lisbon, Portugal to the UK for $46 round trip. I flew from Malaga, Spain to Faro, Portugal. That ticket was $42, but I did have to pay baggage. In Africa, I flew from coast to coastal city for $30 to $35. No questions, I could carry 2 bags, no extra fee. And here in Latin America, they have an awesome bus system that is pennies, $4, $9, $6, $2 to go from city to city. Or flights, I'm in Colombia now, and you can fly from major cities, Bogota, Medellin, Cartagena, Santa Marta, Cali, for literally $30 or $60, and that includes 3 check bags and carry-on bags and priority boarding. So why is it so expensive in the US? I don't know, I can't answer that. I just want to tell you that's one thing that may surprise you. Number 2 thing that may surprise you in different places. This is for my 420 people. You in some places can smoke legally in public. Now y'all need to read the rules and find out where, but Colombia is one of those places, all right? So don't do it everywhere. But for those of you who like to partake, that's something that may surprise you. Number 3 thing that may surprise you guys, transportation. Something that I experienced with Uber / InDriver / Lyft / I heard of Rappi, Cabify. They have different services that function just like Uber. Okay, so when I say Uber, I just mean it kind of holistically, right? In the US, we are told to sit in the back seat for safety reasons, unless there's too many people and someone has to sit in the front, but make sure you sit in the back. That way, you've got a little distance. Make sure you use your credit card and you're not exchanging and paying for cash and things like that. And make sure that the car that you're getting in is the car that is registered. Well, I'm going to tell you, just throw all of that out the window. Just throw it out the window. Why? Because you could potentially, in a lot of places, be asked to sit up front. And a lot of times it's because of the registration. Maybe they don't have appropriate registration to look like they're a cab service. So you have to sit in the front to look like a friend, okay? It's not much you can do. It's not like you can cancel one and go to another. The only other thing you could potentially do is at least get in a cab, a yellow cab or green cab, white, blue cab, whatever the colors of their cabs are. Second thing that may happen is again, you may be asked to pay cash instead of using your credit, or you may get your ride canceled because you are trying to book it on a credit card. I had that happen quite a few times when I was in a couple countries in Africa. And one of the things is you learn how the system kind of works, and so you can change your settings to pay with cash so that you're not denied rides, and then negotiate, or just learn how to take their public system and negotiate rides when you walk up to different types of transport. Okay, and the last thing about the Uber is you may actually get a car that pulls up to you and it does not match what car is registered in the actual app. That's a toughie one, y'all. That's a safety thing, but I see it happen a lot in African countries. So just be aware of that. All right, safety first, but do what feels comfortable. That just happens because of the way that they use the platform is not the same way that we use the platform. You want to know more on that? Hit me up and I'll share with you. Next on the list, a lot of homeowners, property owners have caretaker homes or have apartment Bs, they're like studio apartments that are connected to their larger apartment, or if they have a house, they actually have a caretaker house. You may have someone who lives physically on the property that is going to be maintaining the place that you're staying in. So that's something good to know. The next thing that is somewhat related to that is you go to places and everybody has a driver. In different countries, both Tanzania and Kenya, I felt were the same in that when you're going around, most people have a driver. Another thing that you'll find is most people have housekeepers. In addition to keeping up the house, they also do the laundry, or they service out for the laundry. So a lot of the basic housekeeping things that we tend to do on our own, because we have a washing machine and we have a dryer and all of that, and there's great possibility in addition to that you won't have a dryer where you are. Next thing to know, asking locals how to do things, how to get around, where something is the norm. You are supposed to ask. It's almost as if one person can't know everything, and if they do, they're like the old school person. So it is a common practice to have to ask someone else how to actually get something done. This is especially accurate for women who are trying to get things done, maybe purchase bigger items. It's going to be a little bit tougher for you, but we'll have a separate video to talk about the discrepancies and things that you deal with being a solo woman traveler. All right, you guys, we are about halfway through this list. If this is good information, you like what I'm sharing with you, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I appreciate you guys. Click that notification bell so that you're notified when I drop a video. Click the like button, y'all. Let everybody know that you like this, and that helps my channel to grow. All right, let's get on to the next thing. Restaurants may actually lock their doors or put chains up so that you cannot enter. They regulate how many people are inside their restaurant, right? If we're full in the US, people just sit in the foyer area or whatever right in front and kind of just sit and wait and hover. They don't allow that in a lot of different places. And so you can walk up to a place, you know that they're open, you see people sitting there and their gate is closed. Well, you have to basically ask permission and they have to let you in, and it's because they regulate where you're sitting. You can't just come in and plop and sit somewhere because maybe they know that they've got multiple people, and if you're only one person, that whole thing with not letting you have a table because you're taking up space where a family or multiple people who are going to possibly spend more money come in. So just heads up, you guys, this is just the way a lot of different places manage their businesses. The next one I'm going to talk about is around getting cash and how their bank systems work. A lot of places that you'll go to, banks open and there is a line like a concert around the corner and around the bend, and everybody's standing outside waiting, or everybody's at the ATM, or they have benches inside their banks. And when I say benches, I mean rows of benches like you on a bus, right? It is the craziest thing. I have avoided ATMs and going to banks for this reason, right? Some places you have to stand outside. They won't even let you in unless you are directly at the teller desk or, speaking to a banking person. You literally sit outside, and I think that's to keep from having congestion and to be able to monitor it. And you'll usually always see security at banks when you are traveling abroad. The other thing about the banking system that this is a plus for us as travelers is we get hit with a lot of ATM fees when we go to different places. And there's some banking lines that don't charge certain banking fees and things like that that you can try to find in different areas. But one for surefire way, at least that I know of right now, is if you can get in a bank and you can get past those long lines waiting to get cash, is if you go to a bank and withdraw cash directly from a bank, there will not be service fees associated with that withdrawal transaction. Okay, just make sure you take your passport because they're going to want to see your ID before they're going to allow you to take any money out. Okay, next thing is, in a lot of religious countries, specifically Muslim countries, be prepared for businesses that close between 12 and 3, 1 and 3, things like that, and they close for prayer. It is a cultural thing, it's a religious thing in some places. It's just something to be prepared for. Don't be thrown off and wait to have lunch at those times. Be in the know, ask your locals, ask your concierge, what are some of those rules so that you are not taken aback. Otherwise, you just have to find a place that is open. The next thing is personal space, y'all. There's this thing, like in most places, we in the West, we have a personal space. Like, give us our space, don't be on our back. That's one of the great things I think that COVID kind of re-established, is giving people personal space. You will go to most places and you could be walking down a sidewalk and people walking towards you, and if you don't move, they're not going to move until they get right on top of you. There is no pre-planning kind of thing, and it's just a cultural thing. For us, it probably makes no sense because it's like, you can see people walking towards you. You at some point want to move over. It's hard to say don't take offense, but just understand that this is something that you're going to see in many places. I think, from a Western perspective, we always kind of move over. We allow people their space so they can pass. Understand that everybody's not going to do the same thing, but they really don't necessarily mean any harm by it. Noise ordinances. That's another thing. Understand that you can go to places that there is no such thing as a noise ordinance. In other words, that there will be parties everywhere. There will be loud music. There will be people singing a cappella at any time of the night. There will be fireworks going off everywhere. Kids in the street playing. There's nothing you can do about it except mark it on your map. This is where I do not want to stay because I do want to get some sleep. But that's just a thing that happens, especially in very vibrant cities. That is something that you'll notice. And honestly, you get used to it. And it's not even just the partying. You'll also get some of the religious things. You'll get the bells. You'll get the alarms that go. And then you'll get the prayers at multiple times during the day. That's just how those cultures are. And rather than being upset about it, just be in the know so that you are prepared. Another thing is, not all service providers, whether it's like in tourism, real estate agents, they're not all regulated the way that we think that they're regulated, like we're expecting in the West, right? So you can do tours and you can be working with real estate. Let's say you're going to stay somewhere for 3 to 4 months and you want to go ahead and get an apartment that's fully furnished, but you want to get a better deal than like an Airbnb or something like that. Just know that you could be working with someone that does not really follow the same guidelines and rules and regulations that we are used to in the States. So you want to get everything narrowed down and outlined, and not pass money, exchange money in ways that you're not protected. That's a video for another day, but I want to at least throw that out there because it's a thing that I think surprises a lot of us, is that the rules and regulations around the world are different than what we see in the US, right? And so it's just to prepare us that people function different and they function very well without our rules and regulations. Just know that you need to be aware of it because they're not necessarily going to tell you, okay? And then the last but not least thing is, a lot of times we hear, don't go to a place if you don't speak the language, if you're not fluent. I want to say that this is a thing. Do not get caught in that space of not enjoying your life, not exploring, not taking that trip because you are afraid that you don't speak the language. Download that translator like Google Translate or other translators that are out there. Get the little handheld that you can walk around with. Take a few last classes before you go and practice the basic phrases. thank you, good morning, good evening, where's the bathroom? How do I get to places? And I'm sorry, I don't speak your language. Do you speak this? Or can we translate on this app? I will tell you so many places that I have gone to or getting ready to go to, and people say, oh my God, if you don't speak the language, you're gonna have such a hard time. Don't necessarily believe that. I think if you have a positive attitude and you walk into a place and you establish that you respect them and their culture and you're looking for some assistance, you don't speak the language, you're sorry about that, and I end up being able to get the assistance that I need, and then they get some English assistance from me as well. So you guys make it work for you. All right, so those are my part 2 of things that may surprise you as a Western traveler, things that you want to know before you go. Okay, you guys? All right, I hope this was helpful. If it was, please click that subscribe button, that notification bell, so that you're notified when I drop a new video. And you guys know the drill. Doodles and noodles, peace and